So you or a loved one are having a migraine headache. Wouldn't it be nice if there was a video out there showing you what exercises and stretches you could do to help calm things down, or maybe even help bring some relief to your migraine headache? Well, that's exactly what we're going to be doing on today's video. I'm going to be showing you the exercises that have clinically helped our practice members and our patients with migraine headaches. But before we get to that, my name is Dr. Kresimir Jug. I'm a chiropractor from London, Ontario, Canada. We help people heal and recover from spinal-related health problems through the power of structural chiropractic care and life by design principles. I'm going to ask you to please like and subscribe, and if you can think of someone who would benefit from watching this video, please send it to them. It will help them. Before we get to the exercises, there's a couple of things that you don't necessarily need, but if you can find, they will help you get the most out of the exercises in this video. The first is a lacrosse ball. I like a lacrosse ball for a couple of reasons. Number one, it's rubber and it's really, really hard. The reason I like the rubber is if you put it against your skin, there's a stickiness to it. It doesn't slide it like a tennis ball, and it's firm, so you can apply the appropriate amount of pressure. The next thing is some space to preferably be able to lay down. We know that the number one migraine trigger is stress, so breath and breathing and being able to relax is going to be a key component to performing these exercises with success. And the last thing is something that's heavy. I have a 40-pound kettlebell here. I know heavy is relative, but something that you can hold on to. It can be a household object, but anything that is heavy and that is reasonably challenging for you to hold on to for a longer period of time. By longer, I mean 2 to 3 minutes. It starts to get heavy and challenging. Exercise number one. We are going to start with some gentle movement, range of motion, and neck mobility. So I want you to think of your neck in terms of 360 degrees. And what I want you to start to do is check for any resistance, but just move your head slowly from side to side. And now what I want you to do is, if you're feeling as you're getting to the end of that range, you should be able to turn your neck 90 degrees. You should be able to turn it parallel with your shoulder. And if you're feeling resistance, or if there's a tightness and you can notice an imbalance from side to side, then what I want you to do is I want you to hang out a little bit in those corners, or maybe even help turn your head. Again, the main thing is you want to be focusing on your breath, deep breaths in, deep breaths out, and let the motion do the work. So we're going to go side to side. We're going to go try to touch your right shoulder or your right ear to your right shoulder. And again, what you're going to notice is one side's tighter, so you can hang out a little bit. You can even put your head on top and help open up those muscles even more. So that's lateral flexion. The first one was rotation. We're going to go into extension, and then chin to your chest. The other one that I want you to do is called protraction and retraction. This is like the turtle shell. So protraction is getting your head out in that forward head position, and then retraction is moving your head in and out like that. And you're gonna notice, because most of us spend our days in this position, it's gonna feel a lot tighter and like a much better stretch when you're getting your head retracted. So there's no rush to any of these. You wanna take your time, and you want to really focus on getting the motion happening in your neck. You want the vertebrae to start moving. You want the nerve system in between the vertebrae to start firing better, and you want the muscles to start relaxing. So that's exercise number one. Exercise number two, we're going to be using the weight. So to begin with, you can do it standing, you can do it sitting. I'm going to be holding the weight in my left arm here, and what you can't see is it's not touching the ground. I'm actually holding it. So you want to choose a weight where it's not going to tip you over, and it's not going to be a core workout to keep yourself up straight. But what you want to do with this shoulder now is you want to pull your shoulder back and down and really let the weight open up the chest and open up the trap. And what you want to do with your head is you want to lean it away from the side with the weight. Feels fantastic actually. And then you want to play with your neck position. So you want to turn your head to the shoulder without the weight, and then you want to turn your neck to the shoulder with the weight. And you want to play, again, you want to play in those corners, and you want to particularly feel for any tightness, or it just feels great to open that up. I love this one. I'm actually gonna take the time to do it on the opposite side too. Now, if you don't have a weight, you can play with trying to sit on your arm. And I mean, that helps in the sense that when you turn your head away, you're not going to be lifting your shoulder. However, it's challenging because if you're holding the weight, you really want something driving your arm down and away. So keep that in mind. And again, if you don't have weights, just select something that's relatively heavy from home, whether it is maybe you can take one of those bags or a box and fill it with something and then hold it in your hand. The whole point is just to get that shoulder moving down. Number 3 is an upper cervical stretch. So I'm gonna try to show this. Hopefully the graphic will show up well. You wanna be working and you wanna feel the stretch in this area where your hairline is. That is an area of musculature called the sub-occipital, so underneath your occiput. And those are there's small little postural muscles that attach to C1 and to C2, and they are often tight and full of trigger points with people who have migraines. So it's very similar to the stretch we just did, but without the weight. And what you're gonna be doing is getting your fingers on that hairline, and you wanna make sure that you're keeping your chin tucked. And again, you're just applying gentle pressure, but you really want to feel this area on this side with your hand. You wanna feel that opening up. So whether you're pushing your head forward and down away, but it should feel like you're opening up. There should feel like your skull and your occiput are opening up, and it should feel really, really good. If you can get your fingers in there and create that leverage to open up your spine. Again, with a lot of these stretches, it looks simple when I'm doing it, but really, for lack of better terms, the devil's in the details. You want to be able to create the type of sensation that's going to open up those joints and provide you with relief. Number 4 is neck or cervical distraction. So underneath or behind your ear, and there's a gap in between here in the joint, but it's pretty easy to see on me. It's called the mastoid process. It's that bone, the last tip of your skull. And you're gonna take this area on both of your hands, and you're gonna place it underneath that area on both sides. And then what you're gonna do is you're just gonna focus on gently. I mean, it's gonna be hard to do for yourself, but what you're doing is you're pulling your head away and you're trying to open up that region of your spine where in the upper cervical spine that I just showed you, everything's gonna feel mashed and compressed together. So the opposite of compression is distraction. If you can open up that area of your spine and get your hands under there and just pull your neck and your head away, it's gonna help open up that area and cause those muscles to relax and cause you to get some relief. Now you're wondering, how often do you need to, or how long should you hold these stretches for, or how often should you do them? You can do these stretches throughout the day many, many times. You don't have to hold them for that long, 10 to 15 seconds, and repeat them 6 to 8 times. And that'll be more than enough to help getting things flowing and moving in your upper cervical spine. Exercise number 6, you take your knuckles, doesn't have to be an ultra tight fist, and you're gonna focus on this muscle here called the temporalis, which is the side of your skull. You're gonna start with the back of the skull, and you're gonna take those knuckles on both sides, and you're gonna scrape down with some pressure, and then you're gonna move it back up. And you're just gonna continue this. And again, really focusing on your breath. This feels really good too. Just closing your eyes and letting that gentle pressure on both sides of your temples. Now again, if you feel something that irritates or makes the head a little bit worse, or the headache a little bit worse, then chances are you've stumbled on a myofascial trigger point. So it takes some extra time to try to work that knot out. But again, just continuing this motion of up and down feels excellent. Exercise number 7, continuing this principle of compression in circles. You're gonna take these 2 fingers, you're gonna start just above your eyebrow, and we're gonna start making big circles. Feels good with a lot of pressure. You can move over to your temples, but essentially you're gonna be moving in this circular motion throughout your forehead. You can change the direction and go the other way. And again, any part, there's a muscle on your forehead, any area where it's tender or tight, feel free to work it out. It just feels really, really good. And last but not least, exercise number 8, that's probably the most awkward number 8 I could possibly make. We're going to be going to the ball. Now, what I want you to be doing with this ball, it's brave to lay down on the ground. I'm gonna show it laying, but essentially all we're doing is we're going back up to the upper cervical spine, and we're getting the ball in that area, and we're using the pressure of the ball to help get in those muscles. Now, if laying on the ground, this could be really, really intense, especially if those muscles are very sensitive and very painful. So laying on the ground is the most intense way to do it because of gravity and because of your head putting pressure on the ball. You can just use your hand like this. This is definitely an option. It works really, really great. You can go against the wall. So picture a wall behind me, and now I'm sticking the ball and I'm positioning it with my head. But the way that I want to show you to do it, and hopefully this will work fine, please bear with me if this doesn't work the best, because I'm changing the camera angle here. But again, comfy spot on the floor. You want to get this ball in your upper cervical spine, and then you just want to play. I mean, you can play by moving your body, or you can play by turning your head. You want to ensure that you are finding all of those areas and applying pressure to help those muscles relax and help with your migraine headaches. So those are the 8. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them below. I would love to be able to help you get through this and feel better. Like I said before, please like, share, and subscribe. Catch you all in the next video.